Former President Trump is demanding Iran's unconditional surrender, escalating already high Middle East tensions. With Israel and Iran's shadow war spilling into open conflict, Trump's hardline stance could reshape US foreign policy if he returns to office. The world is watching as the risk of a wider war grows. For millions in the region, the stakes are life and death. Smugglers in the English Channel have adopted new and increasingly sophisticated tactics. Now they use fast taxi boats that can quickly cross the water, often under the cover of darkness or early morning fog, making it much harder for authorities to track their movements. These smugglers force desperate migrants to wade into freezing, dangerous water before boarding, hoping to avoid police patrols and detection along the shore. The journey begins in the dark, with families and individuals risking everything for a chance at safety. This shift in tactics not only makes detection by authorities much more difficult, but also dramatically increases the risk of hypothermia, drowning and other life-threatening dangers for those attempting the crossing. Law enforcement agencies on both sides of the channel are stretched thin, struggling to keep up with the evolving methods of smugglers. Meanwhile, migrants face even greater peril and are forced to pay higher prices for these risky journeys. The ongoing crisis highlights not only the desperation and hope of those fleeing conflict and poverty, but also the ruthless ingenuity and adaptability of the smuggling networks that exploit them. Just miles from the UK, a humanitarian emergency is unfolding, one that demands urgent attention, compassion, and coordinated action from both governments and aid organizations. In Indonesia, Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki has erupted, forcing thousands to evacuate under the highest alert. Ash clouds threaten health and air travel while residents flee with little warning. Volcanologists warn of further dangers, including deadly pyroclastic flows. Emergency responders race to protect lives as the volcano's fury continues. The world watches, hoping evacuation efforts succeed. In Sweden, Fariba Vankor, the Queen of Trash, has been jailed for orchestrating one of the country's largest environmental crimes. Her company illegally dumped tens of thousands of tons of waste, contaminating land and water across 21 sites. The verdict sends a strong message. Environmental crimes carry real consequences. Cleanup will take years, but justice has been served. In a historic move, the UK Parliament has voted to decriminalize abortion in England and Wales, marking a significant shift in the country's approach to reproductive rights and women's health. This decision brings an end to a law dating back to 1861, which for over 160 years made abortion a criminal offence, punishable by severe penalties. Now, women will no longer face criminal prosecution for ending a pregnancy, although medical regulation and oversight will still apply to ensure safety and standards. Supporters are hailing this as a major victory for women's rights and bodily autonomy, celebrating outside Parliament as the news broke. However, opponents argue that the change could lead to fewer safeguards for vulnerable women and warn of potential risks as the debate over abortion continues to divide opinion. Despite ongoing controversy, the legal landscape in the UK has been fundamentally transformed, reflecting evolving social attitudes. This is truly a landmark moment for reproductive rights in the UK, and its impact will be felt for generations to come. The US military has repositioned dozens of jets closer to Iran, signaling heightened readiness as speculation of an Israeli strike grows. Analysts see this as both a deterrent and a possible preparation for conflict. Every move is being scrutinized as the risk of a wider war increases. The window for diplomacy may be closing. The Edmonton Oilers are on the brink, facing elimination in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final. After a season filled with ups and downs, their journey has come down to this crucial moment, where every shift and every play could be the difference between heartbreak and glory. Their dramatic comeback against the Florida Panthers has reignited hope, turning what seemed like an impossible task into a thrilling battle for survival. The Oilers have shown resilience, refusing to back down when it matters most. In the long history of the Stanley Cup, only one team has ever managed to overcome a daunting 3-0 deficit to ultimately win the championship. The Oilers are now chasing that rare feat, determined to make history of their own. The energy in Edmonton is absolutely electric. Fans are on the edge of their seats, filling the arena and the streets with hope and excitement, all dreaming of a dramatic Game 7 showdown. For the Florida Panthers, closing out the series has become a daunting challenge. The pressure is mounting, and every mistake could shift the momentum, making this a true test of nerves and determination. With the Stanley Cup gleaming in the spotlight, it's high-stakes drama at its finest. One game to decide everything, with legacies and dreams hanging in the balance.